I've been practicing to that song, I can't lie to you. A little crazy about it this week. I should have brought my lips up. My name is Kelly Tenney, and I'm really excited to be here with all of you today to talk about one of my personal favorite things, recruiting. But before I do, I'm going to prep you on two things. One, Wounded Warrior, we're collecting money as consultants. So the bag, Misty Mills has it, crazy hat, tutu, you know. It's heavy. We're donating money as Sensi consultants, so please find her after. The second thing is I speak really fast, and I'm really excited, and I'm going to have a lot of information, so I'm going to talk quickly. So my points are quick, and if you want to just write them down quick afterward, I'd be happy to talk with you. Oh, Joel's my clicker, because I won't remember. So, my name is Kelly, and I have been selling Sensi for about 3 years now. When I first started selling, I was focusing on home parties. I needed that 25 to 30% commission. And so I booked parties after parties, and I didn't think anything about recruiting until I'd been selling for 5 months. And one of my hostesses approached me, and I said, sure, you can sign. I'd love to have you. And she signed, and then it happened again the next week, and it happened again the next week. And this happened a total of 5 times. In 6 weeks that people approached me that I thought maybe I wasn't focusing on the right thing. So I started inviting people to the business. And what I found out is that they really wanted to be a part of the business. And so from that point, in 4 months, we went from certified consultants to director. From then, we went from director to star director to superstar director in the next 12 months. So in our first 22 months of selling Sensi, we had gone from certified to superstar. And it was awesome. But thank you. I can tell you that is all because we invited people to our team and we began to grow. So today I'm going to talk to you about 3 steps that I found to be really important when recruiting. It's kind of like a cycle. There's before they join your team, when they join your team, and then after they join your team. And I'm going to quickly talk through some things that I do and some ideas for you to create this awesome cycle of success. Whether you've been selling starting today, or you've been in the business for a month, or you've been in for 8 years, everybody can benefit from recruiting. So the first step is before they join, okay? This is where we're going to focus on social media, keeping lists, and inviting your hostesses. Now, my favorite is social media because, as you can guess, I'm a communicator, and I love to talk. So I am all about Facebook. I think Facebook is my most awesome free public advertisement, and I think you should be using it too. I'll tell you, about a year ago, I shifted from a personal Facebook to a more public Facebook so that I could have more people coming into my business to see what I do. Now, I would encourage you not to, whether it's Pinterest or Tumblr or Facebook or any of those, to talk about, hey, join my team. Hey, I'm hosting a party. Hey, do you want to host a party? Hey, I'm putting in an order. People might not pay attention to that. But what I love to focus on is what doesn't come in my startup kit. I love to talk about the things that I experience with Sensi. So I would encourage you to do the same thing. Talk about the trips, or the friendships, or the self-confidence, or the money. Did you pay off a car, a credit card? Did you pay for Christmas? Talk about the experience you have with Sensi. And you don't have to be constant. You can be consistent. Consistency is the key. The second thing I like to focus on is a list. Now, you've gathered, I am a little crazy. And I tend to move at a really fast speed. And so if I can walk in my front door, put my car keys in a coffee cup, and put that coffee cup up in a cabinet and lose them for 5 weeks, which I did, thank you. My husband found them. What makes you think that I am going to remember Dan, the sales associate from American Eagle, who helped me find my favorite pair of jeans? He would be amazing at Sensi, but I'm not, because I didn't write his name down. So what I did was 6 months later in bed, I went, Dan! Oh my gosh, he would be amazing. And I go to American Eagle the next day, and guess what? He was recruited for State Farm for sales. Why? Because he was awesome. I didn't write it down. What's one thing, well, you might not, never leave home without? My cell phone. If you have an iPhone, it's called Wunderlist. It's a free app, WUNDER list. You can have every list under the sun, from thank you cards to grocery list, to your potential recruit list. This list is the most important list you will ever have because you will not remember all the great people in your life that you meet who could be great Scentsy consultants. So I have lists for people I know who want to have a baby, people I know who have kids, people I know who want to stay home. They want to buy a house, they want to buy a car, they have kids going to college. Think of all of the people you know and start putting them in your list. And then instead of hounding them, start to build relationships with them. I can guarantee you that they're going to want to be a part of what you're a part of. Out of my 67 frontline that I've personally recruited, 19 of them took more than a year to sign. If I hadn't followed up with them, they would not be on my team today. They might not even be with Scentsy. So make sure you have a list and that you're following up with it. And then make sure you are also inviting your hostesses to join Scentsy. When you go to a party, your hostesses are not thinking about joining. What are they thinking about? Is my house clean? Do I have food? Are people coming? Right? You've been a hostess before, you know. So make sure that you are letting her know, hey, I think you'd be amazing at this business. I really believe that you would be great at it. And for that reason, I would love to give you your party tonight. I am a huge believer at giving your parties away. And so you might think, oh my gosh, that's $400 to $1,000 a year in my PRV. What am I going to do without that? Well, I'm going to tell you. They were so amazing. They are such great hostesses that guess what they're going to do? They're going to do $800 to $1,000 a month in sales. They're going to build a team because you're going to teach them this recruiting cycle. And let me tell you, that cycle is endless when you start to be generous with your business. So invite your hostesses to be on your team. So those are the planting seeds of the first step, okay? Social media, free advertising. Use it. Don't abuse it, but use it. It's super important. Make sure you're keeping a running list. If it's on paper, with me, 1 week, maybe it stays. I even left my notes at home. Okay, I won't remember them. And then make sure that you're inviting your hostesses. That's the first stage for the cycle of recruiting. The second is when they join, because guess what? You are so awesome. They are going to want to be a part of the great things happening in your life. They're going to join your team. So what happens once they've joined your team? You need to make sure you set them up for success. You want to start them off on that right foot. So you're going to teach them correctly. So important. It's going to save you time and them time. You're going to make sure you plug them in emotionally and mentally, and you're going to keep it personal. I believe that teaching them correctly is going to help you down the road because you're not going to have to reteach it and reteach it and reteach it and unteach what was taught. No, they're going to learn the first time. So I believe in launching my recruits' businesses. You might not be local. I have consultants all over the states. So they're not all from my hometown, but I have driven up to 5 hours to launch someone's business. Why? Because I want to show them how to do it right the first time. And I believe that if they know how to do a home party, they're going to do more. What do you want your recruits to do? You want them to do home parties. So make sure if you have the opportunity that you teach them correctly. I like to walk into a home party and say, hi, my name is Kelly. Rachel has decided she wanted to sell Scentsy, and I'm just here to help her. So as I walk through my talk or my speech or whatever you choose to do, I want you to ask me as many questions as you possibly can. Why? Because I want her to know, A, she doesn't need to know all the answers because I might not know the answers. B, that this is an opportunity for her to learn hands-on at a party. And so you want to make sure that you are getting them engaged, getting them feeling comfortable with doing home parties because you need them to. Teach them correctly. Plug them in. You want to plug your new consultants in because guess what? We are a huge, awesome family, right? So you want to make sure on those group pages you're getting them tied into people that they don't know, building the network with other consultants because what they're going to do is they're going to build relationships and they're going to feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. When they feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves, they want to do better. So plug them into your group. Plug them in mentally. There's 3 things you want to know as your first 70 days as a recruit. How to get through that resources tab. Good night, you can spend months in there. There's so much information. The training center, it saves you so much time as the upline to direct them. Hey, fundraisers, home parties, themed parties, basket parties, taxes. Everything you need to know is right there in that training center. And then your startup guide. Your startup guide is your Scentsy Bible. 70 days, everything you need to know is in it. Make sure you know it. It comes out with each catalog. Make sure you're learning. Make sure you're knowing your the new awards, the new time periods, your list of 100. All of those things are in their hands every day. Make sure that they are reading it, and then keep it personal. I might be crazy, and you have seen, but I am not crazy about team meetings. I get overwhelmed. I don't like big crowds. And so I know, but I love one-on-one. At my heart, I love building relationships. So I would encourage you, find time to make your one-on-one with your new and consistent frontline, your personal recruits. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I love to have my stay-at-home moms over in the morning for coffee because I can stay in my PJs and they're not offended. I love to go out to dinner with my downline. I absolutely love to pour my time into them. 20-minute phone calls. Do you know what that says to people in your team, people who you've recruited? It says, I value you with my time, so value them with your time. I believe that keeping it personal has been part of what makes my team so successful. So now you've planted the seeds, they've joined, and now what you want them to do is continue that cycle of success. And the way you're gonna do that is you're gonna teach them their why, or help them discover their why, make sure they're setting goals, and then recognize them for setting those goals. Here in a nutshell is Kelly Tenney's why. My name is Kelly Tenney, and I had a hard time making friends as a kid. I almost failed out of high school. I had a really hard time learning, and I dropped out of college. And I really didn't have anyone in my life really outside of my family that believed in me, and I didn't believe in myself. And Cincy changed that. Cincy showed me that I had value and worth, and now I go into the public schools and speak to boys and girls about self-image. And I go in and I talk to them about why they're valuable and why they're beautiful. And my goal for every day that I sell Cincy is to let my team and their families know why I think they're important to me. I love to establish relationships. And so you need to find out your why, because when people join your team, they're not gonna join your team for the product. Yeah, the product's great. There's 300,000 consultants. No, they're joining your team because of your story, because of your why. And you wanna make sure you know it, you talk about it, it's on your PWS, it's on your Facebook, because that is what brings new recruits into your team. It is all about your heart. It is all about your story. And so the next thing I like to do is set goals. How can you get anywhere if you don't know where you're going? So setting goals is really important. I like to focus on attainable goals that are monthly. So let's say one home party, or 500 PRV, and one recruit. And then you need to set up a plan. What does that plan look like? It means you're taking your list of 100 and you're picking out hostesses and you're calling them. You're taking out your list of 10 potential recruits and you're committing to one coffee date, 2 cards, and a phone call. And you're establishing a relationship with them so that you can continually build your team and invite people into the business. If you just come at them and say, guess what, I sell Cincy, wanna join? They're gonna be like, say what? But if you say, I really love you, I really love giving you my time, I would love to go out to coffee with you, I'd love to get to know your family, they are gonna feel like, hey, this might be something I wanna do. So build that relationship, help your team to set goals, and then recognize them for those goals. Heck yeah, I love recognition. Public recognition for myself, for other people, I am all about recognition. I love to recognize my team. I love to recognize their accomplishments. Think of all the wonderful things Cincy has given us to be recognized for. We just went through a couple of them, from sensational start to shooting star certifying. I mean, that's awesome. There is promotions and recruiting and new recruits and lifetime PRV. There's so many things that we can celebrate for. I am a terrible card writer. 4 years cards can sit in my house, 4 years. And I will never send them addressed and labeled, true. But now I send 40 cards a month. I believe in recognizing my team for their hard work and their awesome efforts. Recognizing is important. So they've joined you planted your seeds, they've joined your team, you're teaching them to spread the wealth. 2 years ago today, I had 14 people in my group. Today we have 550. That is only possible from recruiting. Out of that 550, 67 are my front line. Okay, 67 amazing, wonderful, beautiful people, and 10 of them are my frontline directors. We have 14 directors total. I can tell you, it's not all about quantity, it's about quality. But when you focus on that quality, you are going to get quantity. Focus on this 3-step cycle and continue to teach your downline this 3-step cycle, and you will have a beautiful circle of success. Thank you.